Right, zvinhu zviri kuitika zvichiitika fast asi zviri kuitika right now murezi zimbabwe tose tiri kuziva kuti about more than 24 hours ago an audio Chamisa achitaura zvakataura yakabuda, and then from there Chamisa himself also issued a statement achitaura zvokuti I am focused on the big show, and the big show is the 2030 amendment bill. And irororo murezi zimbabwe, let's keep focusing on that, kwete zvose zvimwe zvemashananigans zvimafanis zvokubudisa maaudios ndozvakataurwa Chamisa. So gift Ostalos Siziba as of right now has also issued a statement on X. Inzwai rakaitipinde mustatement here mugonyatsonzwa kuti chii chiri kunyatsokuitika kubva kuChamisa camp. So gift watanga achiti why we reject constitutional amendment bill number 3. So first of all, murezi zimbabwe, today that my consultations atanga, remember that my consultations atanga in each and every province in Zimbabwe. So make sure kuti uri kuona kuti kwako province ku district, in fact ku district kwenyu MP wenyu vari kuzoita this public consultation rini uye kupi anditi nguvai mwana kuinda. So ande kumberi, we reject Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 because it does not strengthen our democracy, it weakens it. We have grown up believing that every citizen must have an equal voice and that leadership must come from the will of the people. This bill takes us in the opposite direction. It seeks to remove our right to directly elect the president and instead allows parliament to choose on our behalf. It replaces one person, one vote, with decisions made by a few. And so one thing chamukutoona right now from this issued statement, their issue on gift Ostalos is that it's focused. It's focused on amendment bill number 3 and why we should reject it, and it's teaching the citizens what's happening. So ande kumberi tichida kunzwa, not tinyatsokunzwa murezi zimbabwe, tichita read between the lines. And so we reject this bill because it extends presidential and parliamentary terms from 5 to 7 years, keeping leaders in power longer without returning to the people for a fresh mandate. No leader should benefit from changing the rules while already in office. So, maZimbabwe mazhinji at this point, they know about these things. But kuneva vasinganzwisisi kuti murezi Zimbabwe, we will never be able to hold our leaders accountable again if Amendment Bill number 3 ever passes. The president will become untouchable. And this guy will be voted once and he will go to sleep for 7 straight years. And so we reject this bill because it avoids the referendum required by Section 328 of the Constitution. If these changes are truly in the national interest, then the citizens themselves must be allowed to decide. My citizens are to vote. Above all and everything, bill number 3 harisi kutombofanirwa kunzi kwanzi risvike kuparliament risati rasvika kuvanhu, rofanirwa kutanga raita go through a referendum, because zvariri kukumbira kuchinja zvinoda referendum. For example, kuwedzera president's term. Second, kuti president agara aripo yeye abenefite from that extension. Those two things murezi Zimbabwe, they are there in section 328 zviri kutaurwa panapa nevakomana. So remember section 328(7). And we reject this bill because it concentrates more power in the hands of the president, more unelected senators, more control over parliament, more influence over the courts, and more control over elections. A democracy is strongest when power is shared and institutions remain independent. We don't know, that's why tichikudzai murezi Zimbabwe kuti panapa pakaipa, because the way a constitutional amendment bill number 3 tries to concentrate power, to take all the power and put it in the hands of the president, zvinoshamisa, zvinovhundusa. And unotoona ndopanonyanya kushamisa kuti kune vanhu vanenge vachibudikira being the champions of pushing this agenda, and you can only see it's impossible for any educated normal human being, because let's talk. George Charamba, educated man. Ziambi, educated man. Tungbarara, maybe also educated. Tagure, maybe also educated. Like all these guys, for them to come out saying bill number 3 Roshandaka, it can only be one thing. They are benefiting financially. Never would they say stuff like that from a real conscience. Kuti vachifunga chakavashandisa brain, vataura zvinhu zvakaderwa. Mama political analyst mazhinji anokuzati hazviti, because everybody can see kuti chinhu ichi it's a power grab. It's a power grab. And So, we reject this bill because it weakens the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, undermines the independence of the judiciary, and abolishes institutions that protect peace, accountability, and gender equality. These institutions exist to save the people, not those in power. MuZimbabwe pari kutaurwa nemaloya, pari kutaurwa nevanhu vakanyatsokuongorora chinhu ichi vakaona pachakaresveka. So isusu MuZimbabwe ngatiteererei, titeeresese, vanodzidza vodzidza, vasinganzwisisi votadza kunzwisisa vobvunza, vane also ma-opposing point of views vobudisa ma-opposing point of views enyu. Tiri kudawo manzwa mucomment section, ndo matete tiri toverenga every comment and tiri kuona muchitaura zvakawanda tichipindura nemi, and we are happy kuti we are engaging as a nation, as citizens. Hande ngatipedzisei. So as a generation, as ordinary people, we cannot remain silent when our constitution is being changed in ways that reduce our voice and our rights. We, the citizens, reject this bill in its entirety. We demand 2 referendums on constitutional amendment bill number 3. Nothing for the citizens without the citizens. #no to 2030. So apa patinoda kumboti tisati tanyanya kupa isusu maanalysis edu, tinoda kumbonzwa kuti mamwe maZimbabweans ari kuti chii. So this statement was issued on X. So therefore tine ma-comments kubva kumaZimbabweans kuti tinyatsokuziva kuti maZimbabweans ari kufungei nezvazvezvi. So first tina truth of the matter. Anozviti truth of the matter. Ari kuti the idea behind constitutional amendment bill number 3 reflects poor judgment and should have no place in a democratic political space. It appears to stem from a narrow, self-serving mindset, possibly sustained by undue influence to manufacture support. At its core, the proposal prioritizes power retention over public interest and leans dangerously toward authoritarianism. So MuZimbabwe, you can hear kuti uyu ari kuta truth of the matter, ari kuti zvotoshamisa kuti bill rakadai so ratombopinda mupublic space for discussion in a democracy. Haritombofanira kugara svika kupublic discussions in a democracy bill rakadai so, because harisi pamutemo. Handiti right? Hatinzwei Morris Hondo ari kuti zvanzi, but on the ground you are doing nothing, Ostalos. You are complicity. I just pray that these audios are not a confirmation of double standards. We feel you are in opposition to do nothing to ZANU-PF dominance. Iwi ndi Morris Hondo ari kushora kwanza on the ground hapana zvauri kuita. Amene ndingada kuti munhu aite sei, and I don't know kuti pa social media hapazi pa ground here zvamazuva ano. I think zvamazuva ano pa social media panowa a bigger ground than pa ground chaipo. But handei kumberi. Hanzi nachakona nyasha. A referendum is not a request, it is a reset. It is the day the social contract gets rewritten with young hands. Give us the date, we shall bring the numbers. #no to 2030. Uyo ari kutongobudikira chijamuka achitoti ari ready kuvhota mureferendum. Hande hatinzwei Fumai Mufakose taurotra. Hanzi naFumai Mufakose, simple reason we reject amendment. President Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF and that corrupt chief judge must go first, and then we might decide to talk about amending the constitution. Ngarowe pasi Mnangagwa, ngairowe pasi ZANU-PF, ngachirowe pasi chief justice icho. Wapedzera Fumai Mufakose ataura zvaataura. Imi MuZimbabwe ndimunojaja, ndimunotudza kuti mukuti chii. Hatipindei futi timbonzwa kuti Zvaringeni Samuel Chasi ari kuti chii. The only time opposition rises is when there are spoils to be shared. Opposition is not fighting to remove the system, but to join it. If a referendum was done today, it would not be different from 2023 elections outcome. The energy being used to challenge CAB 3, which is the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, is enough to challenge the illegitimacy of 2023 elections. The streets should be flooded with protests. So uyu ari kutofunga kuti action tofanira kutoisa paground in the terms of protest. Let's talk. Imimi constitution yedu haitibvumiri here ma-protests, haitibvumiri here ma-demonstrations. I think tibvumira if we do those things, if those things are done peacefully. So I don't know about that. Isusu we're not suggesting anything. Hatinzwei chigananda chashe chiri kuti chi hanzi na chigananda chashe, we are together. no to 2030 chikananda chiri kutojamuka chikananda chashe haichi ndechashe chaicho. And then Skumbuzo hanzi tell them bra ko Bulawayo asifuni ubumbulu. Abafuni ubumbulu laba angithi yebo abantu bayala. So mreZimbabwe tuchaperera ipapa tichiti iwewe chitipa comment yako comment section ndiri kuiona sei nyaya yesei. Garai nesu panapa the Mtapa Times munoziva you will not miss any important update.